What happens when a rapper finally speaks on the secrets nobody else had the courage to expose? What happens when loyalty turns into betrayal? When the man you once looked up to becomes the opponent you never wanted? This is the story of Rick Ross versus Birdman, a story about money, power, loyalty, stolen dreams, and a diss track that shook the entire rap industry to its core. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is bigger than a rap beef. This is a story about how the music industry really works behind closed doors. Before Rick Ross ever said Birdman's name on a diss track, before Lil Wayne and Khaled were dragged into the storm, Rick Ross and Birdman were brothers. They were both rising kings of the South. Birdman representing Cash Money home to Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj, and some of the biggest records in hip-hop history. Rick Ross representing Maybach Music Group, building his empire brick by brick. Ross often said Birdman was one of the first men in the industry who showed him love. They partied together, shot music videos together, even recorded a joint project, The H, The Lost Album Volume 1. To the outside world, these two were unstoppable. But behind the scenes, cracks were already forming.
You mentioned J. Prince, you mentioned Wayne, but you didn't mention Baby. What's your relationship with Birdman?
I don't have one with Birdman, you know what I'm saying? If you read the Source magazine, you will see that, right now, and really me just seeing what Wayne going through as an artist, him being a boss, me idolizing Birdman at the time, me looking up to Lil Wayne, Wayne being the first artist to make so many feats, not just as an artist, but an artist coming from the South. That's something that I took personal. So for me to see the way things are transpiring, I can't respect that, and I don't respect that.
That's real. That one thing I like about
The first sign of trouble didn't come from Rick Ross. It came from Lil Wayne. Wayne began publicly calling out Birdman for not paying him, despite years of chart-topping albums. Lawsuits, delays, broken promises, and a long public battle over the Carter v. Rick Ross was watching quietly, but carefully. He respected Wayne. He respected Khaled. And he didn't like what he was seeing. What looked like a family was falling apart from the inside. Most people don't know this part. DJ Khaled was also affected. Ross and Khaled were extremely close, almost like actual brothers. Ross once said Khaled was the most loyal man he ever met. So when Ross heard rumors that Birdman wasn't treating Khaled right financially, that's when things changed. To Ross, loyalty is everything. Respect is everything. And when you disrespect people he loves, Ross doesn't let that slide. Ross later said, "I just didn't like how they did Khaled. And that's what made me speak up. This wasn't rap beef. This was personal." By now,
He was the biggest shit in the game, brother. Then I had a bunch of other motherfuckers in my swallow before that, bro. You heard me? Future, Guided, Khaled, Ross sit up under me forever, stalking my style and peeping my sauce. You heard me? But there's a lot of niggas, Yo Gotti, all these dudes who come up under my umbrella.
Birdman didn't stay silent for long. In interviews, Birdman brushed off the song. He said he didn't deal with whole shit. He claimed Ross was copying his style. He said the world didn't know the real story. But what Birdman didn't do was answer the accusations. He never responded bar for bar, never dropped a diss track, never addressed the details Ross spoke about. Instead, he attacked Ross's image, not Ross's facts. To many fans, that silence said everything. Some said Ross did more for Wayne in one song than anyone else had done in 5 years. Years passed. Wayne eventually settled his lawsuits. Birdman and Wayne reunited publicly, but Ross never took back a single word. In interviews, Ross said, "I said what I said because it was real." Birdman later claimed he had no beef with Ross. But even in recent years, Birdman still threw subtle jabs, calling Ross a copycat and claiming he was riding his wave for fame. So did the beef end? Not really. It cooled down. They moved on with their lives. But the tension never fully disappeared. Sometimes beef doesn't end with a handshake. Sometimes it ends with distance. This beef wasn't just about diss tracks. It wasn't about egos. It wasn't about being the toughest rapper. This was about loyalty, about how the music industry treats artists, about business deals gone wrong, about a man who felt betrayed by someone he once admired. Rick Ross versus Birdman is a story that teaches us. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we're just getting started.